Hi, I'm Jennifer Stevens with the Journal of Commerce. I'm here today with Adam Roth, Director for NAI Global Logistics. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome back to TPM.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Can you tell us what you're seeing right now in the commercial real estate sector?
Sure. Transportation by far is dictating corporate location decisions in real estate. On average, transportation is 10 to 12 times the cost of rent. To put it a little more bluntly, it's no longer company versus company, product versus product, but it's now supply chain versus supply chain. So what we found is it's important to have a transportation focus when looking at your real estate and your network design.
So with transportation driving your industry, what is the state of freight?
Trucking's facing a difficult road ahead. Most of the supply chains are based on cheaper oil, cheaper fuel, and a more traditional access to capacity. Both of those things are changing. The sector that's positioned very well are the railroads, and they spent close to $12 billion as an industry last year alone in infrastructure. So we see a lot more migration to rail, and we're also keeping a close eye on the port activity with the Panama Canal expansion and how that's going to impact different real estate sectors across the country.
Where do you see the growth areas?
The growth areas we see are definitely nearshoring. Mexico is going to benefit tremendously from that. There's a lot of growth happening there now. From more specifically industry sectors, e-commerce, the 3PL industry, food distribution. E-commerce in particular is very fascinating statistically. In the third quarter of 2012, traditional sales were up 2%, whereas e-commerce sales were up 15%. So we see on the real estate side much more of a trend towards e-commerce type facilities, which is going to lead towards infill locations for bigger cities or what some people call megapolitans. A little more specifically, we're seeing a lot of growth in the inland port sector. CenterPoint Properties is an inland port located just outside of Chicago. They are very bullish on the market. They're going to be building a 500,000 square foot building on speculation. What's interesting about that project itself is it started just about 10 years ago, and very soon it will become the third largest maritime operation in North America, behind only LA Long Beach and New York, New Jersey.
Wow.
All of that with only being 10 years old.
Wow. So how can corporations capitalize?
By integrating more with rail. Historically, transportation is 10 to 12 times the cost of rent. That's going to change. That's going to be amplified. Within a year or two, it's going to be 12 to 15 times the cost of rent. Trucking's facing a lot of challenges. Biggest way to impact your spend is going to be integrating more with the railroads. Is it intermodal? Is it some commodities allow for spur compatibility? That's going to be very important for corporations to control their transportation costs. The more sophisticated companies that we've worked with can correlate their transportation savings or transportation spend with their real estate costs. The more sophisticated companies look at it from landed cost, from all-in cost to get their product to market. Not just silos for transportation, not just silos for rent. What is the all-in best landed cost? That's the best way to capitalize.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.